Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, there is something that I wanted to address because I know there are a lot of people wondering how come I haven't been doing no just a robot reaction videos. Like there was a run that I was on where I was reacting to any and everything's just a robot related. And because it was funny, it was just funny to see all those different things being said about him, learning new stuff. I mean, like, there was things. Did I just extend my microphone higher? Huh. I didn't know I could do that. All right, but anyways, I was just discovered a cool feature with this microphone arm that I got. I didn't realize I can raise it up, but back to what I was talking about. But yeah, I went on a little run where I was reacting to a bunch of different things, just a robot related, and that was something that was like crossing my mind was that whatever, and I mean, if there's like something new that comes out or whatever, yeah, I'm gonna most likely check it out. Just for right now, there's nothing really interesting being said or uploaded about him and stuff. So I think I did hear somewhere that there was a channel that was working on a video about just a robot. I might check that video out. But other than that, I mean, like, there's really nothing else to be said or discussed about, like talked about in things, because the thing is this. One thing that I've picked up from all the different videos about just a robot that I was like reacting to and stuff, and then just even like the facts that I've been seeing before and after I was like went on that run of reacting to videos, is that he's the person that he paints himself out to be. Like, he's not trying to change. He's not trying to be better. If he did, I guarantee and I promise you, we would have seen a 360 years ago. Or is it 180? However it goes. We would have seen a change a long time ago. It shouldn't take him going through some drama in order for him to change. And I mean, from the Cinnabar crap to, him stalking people at events, to, racism, sexism, like all the different stuff that he's being called out for, none of that would have happened. But it's like, the thing is this. It takes, and this would be my question, it takes him to go through drama just for him to change? Like, is that a proper change? Like, a person should want to change before all that stuff happens. It's one of those things, I guess, like, if I could paint out an example, let's say we're talking about let's just make up a random content creator. They're known for talking crazy to people. Why would they wait until the last minute, until it's too late to change, when they like, hey, I want to, I guess, like, rebuild those bridges that I burnt down. I want to do right by people. I want to do better. They would say that beforehand. They're not going to wait until they get caught up in some stuff to where now their career is on the line. And then, I don't know. If he does if just a robot looks at content creating as a career, then, he's going about it in a horrible way. I'm saying, because, like, you look at all these different content creators that exist. When you got makeup tutorial people, you got gamers, you got actors, whether they're doing like comedy skits or serious acting. Like, I seen where people like the short film stuff. What else? Music. And I know people are going to probably be like, throw that in their reaction videos. I know how he feels about reaction videos, so I'm not going to mention it. But, I mean, even that too, like, if we're going to like list out a bunch of different content, you decide to make content to where now you have to answer for that, but just not even with the content, but just him as a person, and that's the thing where it's like, you can't blame your childhood. You can't blame, who you are. You can't blame, like, fam, you had every opportunity to change who you are. You didn't. So that's the thing where it's like, whatever the thing is this, whatever all the stuff that he's going through, he deserves it. He 100% deserves it. I feel like I said that before, but I'm like, nah, I gotta repeat myself on that. All the stuff that he's going through right now, he deserves every bit of it. Every single bit of it. Because my thing, you gotta look at all the people that he has wronged throughout his career. Like, it's funny because they're the last person that was trying to jump to his well, I wouldn't necessarily say he was trying to jump to his defense, but he wanted me to know that him and Just a Robot was friends. I think you guys might have seen, and yeah, I think I did do a podcast episode talking about it. And then yeah, I did a video where I was talking about the Just a Robot, the ungrateful Just a Robot friend, where yeah, so I reacted to this guy's video. I didn't even know that him and Just a Robot was cool. I just reacted to his video because he was talking to somebody, a mutual of between him and Just a Robot, this guy named Lyle Convoy. So anyways, I reacted to this video that he did on Lyle Convoy. I did not say not one bad thing about Just a Robot's friend. Like I said, I didn't even know that him and Just a Robot was friends. But I reacted to that video. I did not say not one bad thing to him. But I ended up taking the video down because, no, this guy is crazy. So anyways, let me get to the crazy stuff. So after I remember he left the one comment saying that he was friends with Just a Robot, and then he reached out to me on Twitter and he was all like, hey, do you want to debate? Or he was like, let's debate or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's 2 a.m. I'm not going to be debating nobody at 2 a.m. Once I'm done editing these videos, I'm going to bed. He was trying to force me to debate him. And that's one thing about Just a Robot and his like friends and his fan base. But I would consider this guy more of a fan. Like, I don't know, like, maybe him and Just a Robot are friends, but I feel like that he thinks that him and Just a Robot are friends, but it's like, you have to look at all of the different quote-unquote friends Just a Robot done had throughout his career. Either they done did something crazy, or he was using them. One of the two. But I don't think Just a Robot has one genuine friend throughout his content, or at least made at least one genuine friend throughout his content creating career. Because look at I feel like even before, you know, you had it where a lot of people were talking about him, but look at all the people that are talking about him now. You have former friends, you have former fans, you got, you know, his idols talking against him. You got it where there's all these different people talking about him. And you genuinely, if anybody out there genuinely thinks that Just a Robot is a good person, I'm like, your head's twisted on backwards. Something ain't right with you. But because all the different stuff he done did throughout his career. But let's continue on this conversation about friends. When he had these quote unquote friends or people that he was cool with at the, what was it, VidCon or whatever, one of those, like those types of events, how did that situation go down? One girl didn't even want to be bothered with him when the one that he shook her hand or grabbed her hand or something like that, squeezed it, but she didn't even want to be bothered with him. Then when they all gathered up together in a group, what did they all do? They all ran away from him. Do friends do that? I'm saying, like, yeah, friends do that maybe as a joke, and then they eventually meet up with the person afterwards. They didn't want to be bothered with him. So that's Just a Robot thing. That's something that he done did. That's something that he done said. But yeah, it was that whole situation where he was like, he was talking to I think it was Molly Malware or something like that. He was talking to her and made that comment like, I understand if you don't want to hang out, but don't make it seem like I said, like, hey, I got you cornered with a gun pointed at you, some stuff like that. However, I can never get that down word for word, but he did make some old crazy comment like that, and it's like, fam, what are you talking about? I just don't want to hang out with you. Like, what are you talking about guns for and stuff? So, yeah, I was like, he burnt that bridge. What else? And then I feel like that just those friends that did something bad, like for an example, his editor. I would say that probably was one person that he was. But no, even there was the one guy I remember. His name was, I think, yeah, he goes by I Bully Bullies now. But it's crazy because like that's somebody I remember where he was like, that was Just a Robot's, like, he was one of his like right hand men. You know, he, like, anytime I remember me and Just a Robot, when we got into an argument, that guy was right there to defend Just a Robot. I've been seeing all these different videos where that guy, he'll try to defend Just a Robot to a certain extent, but overall though, like, he's not jumping to his defense on like all the stuff that he's being called out for, like the main things, the racism, sexism, you know, the stalking stuff. And then of course, like, you know, defending that pedophile and things, like he didn't jump to his defense on that. But if it's like, I think the one thing that he did try to like have his back on was about Just a Robot having a girlfriend. By the way, it's like, you know, that's a situation where I'm like, I mean, if they are still together, then it's like, all right, you know, cool, I guess. Hopefully he's doing right by her. But if not, then it's like, okay, well, that's something that if somebody would have approached me right now talking about Just the Robot and his girlfriend broke up, I'm like, that don't surprise me. It's one of those things where, you sit down and you think about it. Like if you're in the girlfriend's shoes, is this somebody, like I said before, is this somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with? No. This guy here, let's just paint this out. Like, and I highly doubt that his girlfriend is listening, but let's just say if I had her ears for just a few seconds, sit down and think about this. You have all of these friends that you went to school, or I don't know, maybe she did have friends, maybe she don't, but let's just say you have a gang of friends, right? They're all married, or in relationships, heading in that direction of getting married, having kids, all that stuff. Maybe that's not the friend group that you're a part of. But regardless, let's just paint that out. Let's paint out like that best friend, that friend that you've known since elementary. She's getting ready to get married, and she just discovered that she's pregnant. Okay, cool. What is the fiance? What does he do? Let's say he's an accounting. You got that other friend where the guy, he's a construction worker, or let's say the other guy, he's a chef at this high-end restaurant. Your boyfriend defended a pedophile on YouTube for the whole world to see. Is that, like, honestly, though, you guys sit down and think about that. Like, I don't know how the relationship is between the girlfriend and her parents. Is that somebody that you want to bring to your parents? Like, that's something where I'm like, if I'm in her shoes, or if just being in my shoes, but being in a relationship with somebody like that, I wouldn't. That's a relationship that's gonna end. It's gonna end before it begins, cause I can just see right now, Just a Robot and his girlfriend at the dinner table talking to her parents and stuff, and he's gonna say some old off the wall stuff where it's like your parents is gonna look at you like, fam, this guy knows where we live now. How can we fix this? How can we fix it to where he never comes back here? Like, if you want to be in a relationship with him, cool. He's just not welcome back in this house. I feel like that's how that conversation. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe her parents might end up loving the guy. But if not that, it's like, yeah, you guys sit down and think about that. Like, is this somebody that you want to bring home to the parents, introduce your sibling to, introduce your friends to, other family members? Like, he's somebody, you really gotta question. And then it's like years down the road, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like that years down the road, there is going to be a situation where something bad happens, to where overall, yeah, the relationship's going to end, because he just doesn't seem like somebody that's he's well, obviously, yeah, that was already discussed, where it's like he ain't gonna listen to you, or he ain't focused on you. If he would sit down and take the time, where he could have been sitting down taking the time to focus on you, doing stuff for you, coming out in videos talking about you, instead he does a video where he's defending a pedophile. Yeah, he probably apologized for that, but it's like, did he genuinely mean it? Like, you guys sit down and think about all the different apologies that he's done before in the past, quote unquote apologies, where it wasn't really apologies, it was more so a response videos, where he'll apologize for maybe a few seconds and then turns around and says some just either he gives us a backhanded apology to where he don't really mean it, or he's gonna say some stuff that just throws us off from the apology factor. Because I mean, look at the apology video he had to do with this Cinnabare situation. At some point in time in the video, he started talking about fart fetishes. Now imagine he does something to you. He crashes. Let's say he crashes your car. You're not in a financial situation to fix your car up, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, but I just got to thinking about how bad Men in Black, that last Men in Black movie was, and that's why I crashed your car. Does that make any sense? It's like, fam, how does thinking about a movie? I feel like he would say some stupid stuff like that too. I'm like, man, I don't want to be in the mind of Just a Robot. I feel like that's a dark place. That's one of those things where it's like, no, you'll wake up in the middle of the night sweating and screaming. It's just it's not good to be in a mindset like that. But overall, though, jokes aside, yeah, I just don't see him as a individual where he's going to change. So that's why I'm like, me making videos on him, like, because that's the thing. I wouldn't even know what to talk about. I feel like I've said everything I need to say. I've discussed everything I need to discuss. Yeah, like I said, if there's some new stuff that comes out in the future, then yeah, I'll probably end up checking it out. But there was a video that I was going to react to, and I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, I've like, there, like, because it was a interview that he was a part of, and I'm like, I seen this already. So that's why I was like, I think it was at that moment I realized, then I'm like, yeah, there ain't nothing more to say and talk about with just the robot. I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, he's digging himself a hole right now. He's not trying to get, because even if you go to his Twitter account, I went to his Twitter account before I did this podcast episode just to see if he is trying to change. YouTube hasn't really, he started talking about abortions on his that backup channel, or the channel where he has most of the videos that he uploaded on me on that channel. But yeah, he was talking about like abortions. And I think there's like people were calling him out for that. I'm like, that's just in your position. That's not something to talk about. I mean, yeah, you're, freedom of speech. You could talk about whatever you want to talk about and things. But I just feel like in your position, that's not something to talk about and stuff. So, and then what else? And then on Twitter, he was like, he made some tweets where it was like, person of color, and it was just like it was just weird pictures. Like, it was like some, like, yeah, heavily photoshopped pictures, and one of them looked like it was photoshopped, but then the other picture, hold on for a second, let me see what the picture was. I kind of just skimmed through. I wasn't really trying to read or pay attention to any things. I mean, I just wanted to more so I was like, there's this picture of Ice Spice where it was like, I was like, her dad is LL Cool J. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. But and then yeah, it was like one person where it's like they look like it's just just two black people and things. Well, one, I think there it's like I don't know, like I can't think of the name of like where their skin, it's like it's white, but you can tell that they're black and things. And then the other one is just a person that's just black. But then the first picture, it's like, yeah, he's like person of color, and it looks like it's just some Photoshop guy with purple face and like with a purple face and things. So that's why I'm like, yeah, he's not thinking along the lines. I think what he's trying to do is just teasing the waters, saying crazy stuff and doing crazy things. And because you see that a lot, and I wanted to talk on that too. One thing that you see a lot in today's age is when a person gets canceled for some stuff, they want to live by that cancellation. They're not trying to fix things or do better. I feel like when times is getting really rough, like when, like, okay, we already know what this person's about. Because look at Kanye for an example. This man, at one point in time, he was saying some of the most craziest things on social media. And I feel like this year when he was on Twitter, I feel like he reached the peak of saying crazy things. Like, it's stuff where it's like, bro, what is this man on? What is going on right now with Kanye? Because this ain't normal how he's carrying on. Like, this is not normal at all. But anyways, did you seen that hype? It died down. Like, he reached the peak of his insanity. Then the hype pretty much died down. Now look at him. Now he's all like, oh, I apologize, and that's the thing where it's like, that's one thing that I'm tired of, is when people, they say some stuff that gets them canceled, and then they turn around and apologize for it afterwards. Why even say the stuff in the first place? For as long as I've been a content creator for 15 years, I never thought like, oh, let me say something just massively disrespectful to where I know I am going to have to apologize for it afterwards. I've never thought along, and even Just the Robot himself said that he knew he was going to get canceled one day, and I'm like, why is that even something that you're thinking about? What are you saying and doing to where you know that this is going to happen and you're not trying to do anything to stop it? Like, though, I feel like those are the questions that people need to be asking them. Those are the questions I would ask him myself, but I'm like, I do not ever see us having a conversation with each other. I'm like, he's one of those people where it's like, I know if I talk to him, I'm probably going to say some stuff that's disrespectful. And if not that, it's going to be one of those things where it's like the conversation ain't going to get nowhere, or he is just going to try to debate me. And I'm like, fam, if that's, that's another thing too, to just talk on that real quick. It's like, fam, not everybody is the stuff that you're being called out for, it's not debatable. It's not like the racism, the sexism, you defending the pedophile, like all these different things that you done got canceled for, being called out for and stuff. It's not debatable topics. I think that's one thing that they need to understand, is that there's a difference between debatable topics and topics that are not debatable. The stuff that he's being called out for, you can't debate those things. You can't debate your racism and all that. Like, there's the one clip where he was like, where he said he was on a date with a black woman, and he's talking about, like, I think she asked him what's your favorite type of train, and he was like, I don't know, what's your favorite type of chicken or in basketball team or something like that. And I'm like, fam, somebody explain to me, how is that debatable? How can you debate some stuff like that? Because my thing is this: if I'm on a date with somebody in the opposite color of me and they say some stuff like that, I'm gonna stand up and walk. I'm like, yeah, you got the check. I'm out of here. I'm not gonna be sitting around, and asking no question. They were like, no, it's a debate question. Not everything is a debate. That's just flat out racism. So it's like, if you want to debate with that, then I'm like, okay, my thing is this: go to the hood, go to anybody. Say the things that you be saying on the internet or in privacy, whatever. Because I guarantee and I promise you, if that restaurant was surrounded by black people and it got massively quiet, it's one of those things where I'm like, we probably would have went to Just the Robots channel and been like, dang, he hasn't uploaded in a minute. Like, what's going on? Like, why hasn't he not? Then it's somebody that he was cool with, IRL, probably his roommate, would comment underneath his last video talking about, yeah, he's in a coma at this moment. Yeah, he went into a restaurant, asked a pretty racist question, and yeah, he got attacked. Like, yeah, we don't know when he plans on waking up. Like, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe some years from now. But your boy's in a coma, all right? And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you always ask like those hard hitting questions to where they just refuse to answer. That's why I'm like, if there's ever a time, I guess, where I am like put in that situation where I am gonna have to debate somebody from Just the Robot circle, I know I'm gonna ask them one of them like heavy hitting questions to where they're not gonna answer it. They're gonna try to figure out something else to say, or be all like, oh, excuse me for a minute, I need to drink some water, I need to do some. I'm like, nah, fam, answer the question. I'm not trying to hear no excuses and none of that other stuff. That's one thing that they're big on, is coming up with excuses for things. And I'm like, bro, not trying to hear that. I'm like, not trying to hear that at all. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's best if I don't debate, because I know I'm not going to get the answers that I want. It's either they're going to lie or they're just not going to answer the question. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's just with debating those guys, it's just, like I said, there's just some things and racism, that's something where it's like, especially dealing with somebody like me, where it's like, fam, I've been dealing with racism, I wouldn't necessarily say my whole life, but there's been parts I have to say, like from kid to what else, teenager, adult years. Like, fam, I've dealt with racism in some like key moments of my life and things. And so that's why I'm like, and then read books, watched movies, documentaries, stuff, whether it's like a fictional movie or based on a true story movie. It's like, fam, you can't tell me what racism is and what it isn't. So that's why I'm like, I ain't hearing nothing from nobody talking about, oh, this is racism. Like, you do not know. If you've never had my thing is this, it'd be crazy too. It's like, you have a racist experience that you can talk about, but you still don't know the difference between racism. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm like, nah, I ain't hearing nothing that you got to say. So, but yeah, overall though, there ain't really nothing else to say. Like, just, I guess, to more so conclude this episode, there really isn't anything to say about Just a Robot. It's like, we already know what he is. We already know what he's about. We already know what path he's heading down. And it's that path of, oh, let me say crazy things and do, because my thing is this: if I'm in his shoes and I've had this opportunity to better myself and to do right, I'm finding every form of content that I can get myself into, whether it's gaming content, whether it's making music, whether it's, talking on other topics and stuff, where it's not going to because my thing is this: if you're a good content creator, you can make any form of content out there. Like, that's one thing about it. And that's one thing that I've challenged myself to do, where I'm like, I'm not going to limit myself on the content that I do. And that's why you see me doing gaming videos, making music. What else? Let me think of some other content. Doing comedy skits, voiceovers. What are some other forms of content? Talking on sports. I'm thinking about. I have to check because I'm like I got 50 channels and at times because I like been changing them up a lot recently and I can't remember if I have a photography channel. I'm like if I don't, I think I might end up doing that, creating one and then just kind of just finding different areas to just record, take pictures, do like slideshows and stuff like that. But yeah, just kind of like go above and beyond with that. But I'm just saying, like, if you're a good content creator, you're not going to limit yourself to, oh, let me be this toxic content creator to where I'm constantly gonna have to be getting into it with people. If you live for that type of stuff, then it's like, fam, then content creating ain't for you. I'm gonna just say that much right now. If you live for that, oh, I gotta be in the limelight, but it has to be negative. Yeah, the content creating ain't for you, and it's probably best you find some, because that is one thing I have been seeing people say that Just a Robot is that he does need to leave the internet, and I'm like, if you're my thing is this. If you're not gonna change, then yeah, the best thing for you to do is to leave. But if you find yourself changing and you wanting to do better and all that, build bridges with people, I'm like, okay, cool, do that, but do it the right way. Don't do it in a way where it's like it's gonna be putting down others and things. So yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, and like that mean like by like, because I feel like I was kind of talking on that for a little bit, his friends and stuff, and you look at all the people, his like friends or former friends, those that are talking about him and stuff. It's like, fam, it even just that one friend that I was just recently talking about. It's like I did check and see. I'm like, he did not do not one video defending Just a Robot. And I'm like, after this whole situation with him defending that pedophile, I didn't see him jump to his defense. So I'm like, are you really his friend, or are you just trying to use him for your own benefit, for your own gain and stuff? That's why I'm like, I wasn't even hearing that when that guy was talking about he's Just a Robot's friend. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's good for you. Like if you ask me today, tomorrow, yesterday, whenever, 10 years from now, I'm not gonna care, bro. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, to Just a Robot, and I think that's another thing too. Talking to those that he is still friends with, and you're enabling him to continue being this Just a Robot character and stuff. Stop it. I'm like, yeah, then that's somebody where I'm like, I guess like talking to Just a Robot, them ain't your friends. If they telling you to continue on doing what you've been doing and it's the stuff that led you into being canceled, they're not your friends, and you need to pick and choose better friends. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.